Thank you, Madam Chairman. I rise today in support of my amendment number 105, which prohibits the Department of Labor from providing so-called climate literacy training. In September 2022, the Department of Labor released a, quote, climate adaptation plan. This plan identifies the department as the agency that developed the climate training and discloses that it is exploring collaboration with other agencies for the purpose of promoting climate literacy training. Madam Chair, this climate literacy training is yet another example of the extent to which radical climate hysteria has permeated every agency and sub-agency within the Biden administration. The Department of Labor's mission statement actually says that it is responsible to foster, promote, and develop the welfare of the wage earners, job seekers, and retirees of the United States, improve working conditions, advance opportunities for profitable employment, and assure work-related benefits and rights. Perhaps it would be a surprise to the Department of Labor, but creating a, quote, climate adaptation plan is not listed as either part of the agency's mission or priorities. Yet here we are. It is time for the Biden administration to stop catering to a politically radical agenda and actually focus on governing. It is time for the Department of Labor to focus on its mission of fostering, promoting, and developing the welfare of the wage earners, job seekers, and retirees. The purpose of my amendment is to ensure that the Department of Labor does just that it focuses on its true mission and leaves the politics of global warming out of it. I urge my colleagues to support my amendment to send a message to the DOL that we will no longer tolerate its foray into this nonsense. And with that, I reserve.
Gentlewoman reserves. For what purpose does the gentlewoman from Connecticut seek recognition?
Madam Chair, I claim the time in opposition.
The gentlewoman is now recognized.
I rise in strong opposition to this amendment. This amendment blocks a critical aspect of the Biden administration's whole-of-government strategy to build resilience at home and abroad against the impacts of climate change. And with that, Madam Chair, I oppose the amendment and I yield back.
The gentlewoman yields.
Since President Biden took office, the American worker has suffered a 3.1% pay cut, caused in large part by this administration's obsession with all things climate change and its war on affordable energy. The dramatic increases in energy costs have translated into higher costs for everything else, including food, housing, clothing, entertainment, and travel. This administration's war on affordable domestic energy has thus dramatically and negatively affected the very people that the DOL was created to serve, the American worker. In short, American energy independence is good for the American worker, but the converse is also true. Dependence on foreign-produced energy is bad for the American worker. Yet that is the very outcome of these wrong-headed programs such as the DOL's climate literacy training. Such training won't improve the lot of the American worker, it will hurt it. Last year, U.S. inflation-adjusted household income fell by the most in over a decade. This reduction in income is the direct result of the inflationary pressures caused by the Biden administration's energy and climate policies. These policies have also impacted our labor force participation rate, which remains low and has never fully recovered since the pandemic. There are serious labor issues to address in this country, and while I would argue workforce development and job creation are not a role of the federal government at all, so long as the Department of Labor exists, it should be focused on how it will work with American industries to foster a strong labor market. And with that, I urge my colleagues to support this amendment, and with that, I yield back.
The gentlewoman yields. The question is in the amendment offered by a gentlewoman from Wyoming. Those in favor say aye. Those opposed say no. In the opinion of the chair, the ayes have it. The amendment is agreed to.